Do you remember the Newlywed Game show from long ago, in which each member of a married couple answers questions about the other member, and the other member has to guess ahead of time what the answer will be? That's fun.
Yeah.
And I thought, with Valentine's Day coming up, we should give it a try, with a twist, of course, because not all of us are in relationships right now. So each of us identified any close friend or loved one for me to send my questions to, and they've sent their responses to me, including my wife, whose responses I have not listened to.
I'm so excited.
We've got a lot of these to get through, so let's go. I want to start, though, by going around the room and saying who it is you selected for your partner and, you know, who they are, what their relationship is to you. So, again, I said my wife, Christine, my wife of more than 21 years. I'm terrified by at least one of her potential answers. What about you, Matt?
I chose my mom of more than 21 years, so...
Could be a risky choice, okay.
I hope not, but we'll see.
All right. What about you, Ananya?
I chose my fiance, Raghav. I aspire to be married to him for more than 21 years.
How long have you...
Total? A little bit over 2 years.
Okay.
We're getting on 2 in March.
Okay, Nathan knows better than me. About 2 years. Yeah,
okay.
It was March. Right. About 2 years. Yeah.
Nathan, what about you?
I had my stepmom, Erica, call in. We just spent a week together, me asking her questions, whether aliens exist. That's,
Aren't stepmoms supposed to be evil? Isn't that the narrative that we...
His is lovely.
Oh my goodness, like an angel.
She's an angel.
Emma, what about you?
I chose my close friend, Augusta, from... I guess college, 7 or 8 years. We've known each other. Yeah. She's not in medicine. She lives in Seattle. But every time I go home, we keep in touch. So.
All right. Well, let's start with our first question. The first question was, is your partner a rule follower or a risk taker? What do you think Raga will say?
I think Raghav said I was a risk taker. I hope he thinks that. I hope everyone thinks that. We'll see.
A risk taker?
We'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what, in fact, he said.
I'd say Ananya is definitely a risk taker, so much so that any given day I really have no idea what risk she's about to take. I think she's also a rule follower for the most part, but she definitely takes a ton of small risks here and there. She once loved a blue pantsuit type thing so much that she parked in the middle of the road just off Melrose on her way home just to show it to me, with people behind her honking and trying to get past her, and she never regretted it for a second. Or for example, on a more relevant note, she'll always take a risk to shoot for the stars when it comes to anything she wants to do. She'll email random people from across the world to collaborate with her projects. She'll never back down when going for something that aligns with her values.
Aww.
And as I'm sure you know from meeting her, she'll never let anyone crush her incredible spirit.
Oh, this is so sweet.
Oh my God, are these vows? Was he practicing for his vows?
I'm worried. No, I'm like worried.
All right, you got it right. Let's go with, I'll do me next. I am definitely a rule follower.
Okay.
Definitely a rule follower. Let's see.
What about that Instagram reel over there?
I was trying to follow some rule.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Christine said about me.
He is a rule follower.
That's it. That's all she said.
Short and sweet.
I love it.
Nothing more to see here.
She also is a rule follower.
But
Yeah, we agree.
Great.
Let's go with Emma next. Emma, what do you think?
I feel like she probably said rule follower, but with an asterisk of like only if the rules make sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a risk taker than she might be.
Okay.
So there's my answer.
All right. Let's see what Augusta had to say.
I think that many people might assume that Emma would be a rule follower, but actually I'm going to say that she is a risk taker because she is surprisingly like mischievous and like will try to convince us to do like random fun things spur of the moment. So I would say she's a risk taker despite being a very disciplined person.
Wow.
Some like anarchist like undertones.
I know.
Right here.
I am a little bit mischievous.
I love it. I actually would not have guessed that. I mean, I wouldn't.
I hide it well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you seem so...
The well-manicured background.
You seemed even, you seem like a very even person, but good for you. Good for you. A little balance there. Matt, what do you think?
I think she's going to say I'm a rule follower.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's see what she said.
Matt is most definitely a rule follower.
We would most definitely put in
Most
there.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. You got that right? What about you,
If
Nathan?
Erica does not say I'm a risk taker, our relationship is
Hits.
done. Yeah. She is cut off.
All right, let's see what Erica said.
I would say that Nathan Spitz is a risk taker and a rule follower.
Okay.
When it comes to his academic life, I think he's definitely one that follows the rules because he wants to make sure that he's putting the time in to whatever project or assignment he has to get the best grade possible. But in his personal life, I would definitely say he is a risk taker. A little bit of a thrill seeker. Also is never ever one to turn down the opportunity to try something new.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great summation.
Wow. So many complimentary things to say, except for my wife. It's just like straight fact.
Well, so she
Rule
also is a
follower.
root. You're right. You just asked for
Yeah.
answers,
Yeah, true.
and
Yeah.
she gave it to you.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go on to the next question. This is the one that scares the shit out of me. What habit does your partner have that either gets on your nerves or that you think would get on a romantic partner's nerves?
Okay.
We'll start with you, Ananya.
Okay. I think it's when I don't like finish my like beverages. Like I don't finish like a cup of coffee or like tea. And usually like Raghav is the one that makes me coffee because he's better at it. And so I think, I don't know, because he always like comments on it kind of like, oh, you didn't like the coffee. I was like, no, I just didn't finish. I always like leave a couple sips. I don't know why. It's not like intentional.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. I don't know.
Well, let's see if you're right.
So first off, let me preface this by saying that I love absolutely everything and all the little intricacies and humanistic qualities that make her who she is.
He will not
But
get
there's
trapped.
definitely something
Say
that
it.
could potentially be annoying
Okay.
when seen in the right light. And I'd say it's not so much a habit as a physiologic feature, but it leads me to a sort of Sisyphus's rock type scenario. So to set the scene, she loves coffee.
I knew it.
Nice.
Caffeinated beverages. She also has the unique ability to be able to drink coffee or tea at any time of night, metabolize it miraculously within seconds, and fall asleep almost immediately afterwards. So as you can imagine, this leads her to drinking a lot of coffee and tea closer to bed. At the same time, she hates drinking beverages that aren't the exact temperature they were supposed to be. So basically, as you can picture, whenever I make her a coffee close to bedtime, she'll drink a few sips, get immediately energized for a bit, study for a while, try the coffee again, and then it isn't the perfect temperature, so she'll just stop drinking it. Now, the key is she also hates throwing things away or wasting food or anything like that. So she'll never throw away that cold coffee, and instead will just let it sit there in hopes that she may one day drink it or 1 hour drink it, or I don't know. But basically, it allows nature to run its course. So most days I'll go into the room. There's at least 2 or 3 coffees in the room that have been sitting there for days. The milk is curdled. The glass is noticeably heavier because of the mold that's in it. She'll feel bad
Finish
if I
it.
tell her about it.
Yeah.
So usually I end up just taking that moldy petri dish back to the kitchen, scrubbing it, and then brewing another coffee in there just for that cup to inevitably suffer the same fate.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Awesome.
but the
What a
hell,
saga.
Awesome.
Well
Yeah.
told.
Yes. All righty then. Let's see who's next. Well, that would be me. This is my moment of truth.
bear it all for.
Wait, I was
no,
gonna
yeah,
guess. I
hear
was
it.
gonna guess.
So I'm going to say that you were going to
I
guess.
was gonna guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have a guess also?
I do have a guess.
I want to go before you.
Okay.
Okay, I think you talk a lot about like the tinkering you do on small things and big things. That's not a good description.
Tinkering?
Like little like engine repair, all that stuff.
Okay.
That's my guess because I feel like if I had
You
a
think that would
partner
be
was
irritating?
No, not yeah. Yeah, I do. Like the little clicking noises. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you go.
It's not like I do it like next to the bed.
Like in the bedroom. I don't know.
Just clicking pins.
I know. That's what I envisioned.
Okay, that was not what I was thinking.
Okay.
Let's hear. Okay, so my thought is freaking out about some minor thing that causes me to catastrophize.
Okay.
And then poor woman, has to listen to me catastrophize. All right, let's hear what she has to say.
Oh boy. First, some background. Dave is a light sleeper, and he has amazingly wonderful hearing, like that of a 2-year-old that's never used headphones or been around loud noise.
She's an audiologist.
If I make the tiniest noise in the bedroom while he is asleep, he will wake up and he will exclaim, "What are you doing making all that noise?" Absurd and ridiculous. And he doesn't believe me. And in the process of
listen to the angst in her voice.
Answering this question, I realized what I have to do.
Oh.
I have to move my dresser and my vanity into the other room and use the closet in there. It's an office/guest room, and that's where I will go. I will sleep in the bed and tiptoe out of the room and not do anything in that room except sleep. And I'll even put my toiletries in the other bathroom. I can't use the bathroom off the bedroom.
So funny.
And it's astounding how incredible it is, and it's really stupid how he doesn't believe me.
That was a good one. I was kind of right.
Overall, a great compliment. Like, you have phenomenal hearing.
Yeah. I was right, but the inverse. She's the one that's tinkering around you.
Roasted.
Yeah, that's so
I
funny.
just got roasted.
Her impression was very, like, I could hear your voice.
This is the impression that my family does of me.
Yeah. Oh, the impression was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was spot on.
You're gonna go home and your whole house is gonna be rearranged.
Well, I doubt it. All right. Well, Christine, if you're listening, do it.
Please, spare me.
Emma, what do you think your partner's response was?
I think that she might say something about like how I think that like I'm rigid in how I think things should be done. Like the dishwasher should be loaded this way, even though there's like multiple ways you can load a dishwasher. I know, but a lot of times I think my way is the best way because I've thought a lot about it. So I think that might be annoying to other people. And in particular, I think she may get annoyed by that.
You've thought a lot about it.
That's so funny.
You and my daughter.
I do the things the way that I do them because they seem logical to me.
All right, fair enough. Let's see if Augusta agreed.
I would say that Emma has the habit of multitasking. Like, it's very, very rare that she's only doing one thing at one time.
I don't know. Aren't we all doing that?
No, but that was the second thing I was going to think of. I have a hard time relaxing. And so like we lived together for like 3 or 4 years. And every time we watch a movie, I'd be doing something else at the same time. I've learned to stop doing that. But yeah, I have a hard time not multitasking.
Fair enough. Matt, we've come to you. What do you think your habit is?
I really don't know what she's going to say.
And she also, it could be something that gets on her nerves, but also something that she projects will be a problem for your significant other someday.
That's true. I think the thing I was thinking about most is that, like, when I don't need to wake up for something, I just have terrible sleep hours. Like, I'll be up most of the night, sleep most of the day, really turn into like a nocturnal animal. So maybe that's what he's to say.
All right. Well, let's see.
He's an anamorph.
Let's see if you're right.
Matt is kind of a slob.
Such a mom
but one look at his condo and you will definitely know that he is. It gets on my nerves, and I can only guess it would get on a romantic partner's nerves because, he is a slob.
I can't argue with that at all.
Daggers.
Every once in a while, she'll come over and just be like, I need to come back and clean everything.
Oh my gosh.
I can tell you, Matt's mom, what's her name?
Michelle,
Matt's mom, Michelle, that I can tell you from my personal experience that he will find a romantic partner. And it will just be something that they live with. So
for 21 years.
For 21 years. And they're still married and have 2 beautiful children. All right, let's see. We're on to Nathan.
All right, I've got like a habit and then like a personality trait. I think the habit and one that's particular maybe to Erica's.
I don't think you get to choose 2.
Okay.
This is a habit.
Okay. The one I think that like disturbs her the most, Ananya, can I borrow your hand?
Yeah.
there's something that is like so I'm gonna take her finger and I would like put her fingernails like under my nail bed to kind of like scratch. You know, you're like watching a movie.
You would use Erica's nails to do this?
Yes.
Oh, because they're longer.
Right, because
Yeah,
they're
makes
longer and they would like get under the nail bed and it's like this like itch.
Yeah.
It's like scratching like the best itch
Of your back or something.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Sure.
And it absolutely disturbs her. I'm sure that's not what she's gonna say, but like that is something that I do that disturbs her the most.
All right. Well, let's see. It's very
specific.
I don't know if this is an odd habit or not.
Okay,
I mean,
so then
because like, how is this different from getting your back scratched? You know, it's just
under the
Have you
fingernail.
heard of anybody else ever doing that?
I mean, no.
Right. And so the other one is just like I refuse to accept like I don't know as an answer.
All right.
As like a
Okay.
person.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
Who's the first?
Here's what Erica, not evil stepmom said.
That's easy. He likes the feeling of you sticking your fingernails underneath his fingernails. Weird.
Yes.
That is so funny. She's so disturbed. She's like, that's easy. I know. Weird. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Wow.
We know it. Yeah, we know
each other well.
Yeah.
All right. This question is, which of the following breakfast cereals best describes your partner? And the choices are Just Right, Oatmeal Squares, Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, or Fruit Loops. All right. So, Ananya,
Yeah.
which breakfast cereal are you?
Okay. I don't know what I am. I think Raghav is gonna say something like sweet about how I'm like just right because I'm just right for him or something. Because I feel like he's been like being very like sweet to me. I don't know why. Maybe because he knows it's on a podcast.
Because your relationship is only 2 years old.
Yeah, you're right. Wait till 21 years.
And, he's got a lot to lose at this
Wait
point.
till you're waking him up
I
in
know.
his sleep.
I know.
He's yelling at you in the middle of the night.
He is a light sleeper, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
could
I don't know.
happen.
We'll see.
All right. Let's see what Raga had to say.
I'd say the answer is definitely Fruit Loops.
Oh.
I would say Lucky Charms because I really like Lucky Charms, but there's so many of those bland cardboard type pieces in Lucky Charms. Really, the only good part of it is when you get lucky enough to get a charm, which is pretty rare, especially when you get close to the end. I'd say what makes Ananya Fruit Loops is she's so constantly upbeat, energetic, and her happiness is just really, really infectious no matter what day you catch her on. So everyone she meets just feels so lucky that they got the opportunity to meet her no matter when or how they meet her. And Fruit Loops are kind of the same.
flattering.
They're always rich, crunchy, bright, and no matter what bite you eat, it's always consistently incredible.
Wow.
I have to know if he like wrote down these answers or if that's all off the cuff.
I need to know too. I need to ask him.
I will say that he was the very first person to turn in his answers.
He was very excited about this.
So, yeah, you got it wrong, but okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
I can live with that.
My turn. I have no idea. I'm going to say Frosted Flakes because I am a bit flaky about. I have a terrible memory, and I do flake out on things that I have been told or been told to do.
But you're still sweet. That's why you're Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, Frosted.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if
Your wife agrees.
let's see if Christine agrees.
Well, I don't know what Just Right is.
None of us do.
And the other ones, I don't even know what Oatmeal Squares is. So if I could pick any breakfast cereal, it would be Kix. But since I'm limited to this list, I will say Oatmeal Squares, I guess.
Did she think she's picking breakfast for herself? Is that what she thought?
You know, it sounds good for kicks.
She didn't explain why. Maybe
Because she picked you. She wants to pick the best option for her. So she picked Kix, and that's
you think that's it?
You are the best for
You're
her.
the best for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, maybe I'm just, straight laced button down kind of guy, but
Oh, okay.
maybe I'm a square. I don't know. So next we have Emma. Emma, what do you think Augusta had to say?
This is a hard question.
I feel like this is the weirdest question.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the most difficult question to pin down.
It's hard because you have to balance like what represents the person and also like what are they like eating because that like plays into it maybe.
No, okay.
That doesn't.
I think she probably said, well, maybe she said oatmeal squares because I'm like pretty disciplined, and oatmeal's probably like I don't know what oatmeal squares are, but I'm guessing it's something like oatmeal. They seem like the most hearty, like best for you breakfast.
Okay.
But I'd like to be the Fruit Loops of the bunch because I'd like to be more like Ananya. And I think Augusta is Frosted Flakes if we were to turn the question around.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll never know the answer to that.
I'll ask her.
But let's see what she said.
I think Emma would be oatmeal squares, and I don't really have a good answer for why I think that. That's just what my heart is telling me.
That's a sign of like a true friendship, though, when you just say, you just know.
Yeah. Matt, you're next. What are you thinking?
I have no clue as well. I'm gonna go with Frosted Flakes just because I want to say that I'm great. But we'll see what she says.
All right.
That was good.
Does his mom have the jokes?
All right, here we go.
Number 3 is kind of a tough one, but I'm going to go with Frosted Flakes.
Hey.
It's a good, solid, traditional cereal with a little bit of fun in the frosting.
That's a good answer.
Nice, moms.
That was well done.
Good one. You're making up for the slob comment.
I have some pros too.
Yeah, we all do. Nathan.
Oh, tough. Erica's favorite cereal is Lucky Charms, and she's corny enough to say that she's lucky to have me as her stepson. I'm going to guess, though, that she's going to say Fruit Loops for me.
Okay. Let's see if you're right.
I'm going to immediately say Lucky Charms.
Oh,
That's her favorite cereal.
Being with Nathan is always guaranteed to be a magically delicious time. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what kind of conversations you're going to have with Nathan. But it's guaranteed to never be a boring time.
Oh,
Cute.
that was so cute. I love that.
Why are your answers so much cuter than mine? All right, we come to question 4, which was, aside from doctor or some other healthcare worker, what occupation would best suit your partner? This is going to be tough for Christine, but we'll get there. What do you think the answer is, Ananya?
I think Raga probably said that I should be like a science journalist or an author, writer of some kind.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
And he's probably going to say something really sweet. Am I going to cry on this podcast?
I hope so. That'd be good.
No.
Make sure you
for the
rub your
views.
tear.
It's good for the views.
For the clicks, baby. All right, let's see what Raga had to say.
So interestingly, and weirdly enough, this was actually one of the first things we ever talked about. And her answer to this was what made me fall in love with her, or one of the many things that made me fall in love with her, I guess I should say. So I asked her, if we lived in prehistoric times, what profession would she be best suited for other than a doctor? So I think just from knowing
He's
her
an anthropologist.
now, writer or journalist is reasonable, and she often talks about how much she loves writing and investigative journalism. She's one of the best writers I've ever met, and she loves human stories and investigating things and getting to the bottom of things. So I think writer or journalist is reasonable. But actually, I ended up agreeing with her initial thought, which was a mail carrier. A human UPS truck before cars existed. So to preface this, she's run marathons, so she obviously has what it takes to run across the city delivering mail. More importantly, though, she's always said she loves big parties. She loves just having a ton of people around, being able to talk to a ton of different people, and love learning about the rich stories that exist in their day-to-day lives. And I think being a prehistoric mail carrier would allow her to run a lot and experience a lot of little flashes of hundreds of different simultaneously existing lives.
Wow. He thinks I should get rid of UPS and be a mail carrier.
You'll be the mail carrier, the prehistoric mail carrier.
Prehistoric mail carrier.
Who apparently has to deliver stone tablets.
I guess.
That was a 180. I was not ready for that.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that in years. Yeah.
All right, so let's see what Christine.
Wait, what's your guess?
I'm sorry. My guess would be, I don't know. We were once bus drivers. Kind of enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. I was a bus manager, hated that. Transportation manager, hated that. But what I'm doing right now was something that I fell into, so it can't be that. I love it. It can't be that. I would say NPR host. Let's see what the hell she came up with.
How about
I don't like this
one
already.
of those YouTube influencers that does makeup or whatever? No, that's quite ridiculous. I think a voice actor.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I think the why should be obvious because listeners love to listen to Dave.
Oh, that's cute.
That's nice.
I like that actually.
All right.
That's a good one.
I mean, after being on the Christmas episode, I can say you can do a mean Santa Claus.
Yeah. After listening to the Christmas episode, I agree.
Oh, that was nice.
That was really sweet.
All right, thank you, Emma. What do you think Augusta had to say?
I think she would probably say and would want me to be a baker, like if medicine didn't exist, because I do a lot of baking, like on breaks and stuff. But the thing is, I never make up my own recipes and I use a lot of Betty Crocker, so I can't really feel like I could be an honest baker. Also,
They'll never know. They'll never know.
I know.
This question is also like a practice interview question. So I don't know if we talked about this, but my answer for interviews is a children's or like elementary school librarian. So she could say that, but I feel like I'm going to go with baker.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I think that if Emma wasn't a doctor, that she would probably be a lawyer. Because she's very good at remembering like the most detailed information, like the day that you plan to do something or like the name of a place you went, and she'll use it against you if you. That's funny. Be a lawyer.
There's that mischievousness coming out.
This is funny because we just had a long discussion on caffeine in different drinks last night, and there was a lot of discussion going on. So
I see. You were using things against people.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. That's what they call a shithouse lawyer, Emma. So, all right, Matt. What did Mama Michelle have to say?
For a while, I was playing around with maybe becoming like a professor if I wasn't going to go into medicine. So I think she's going to agree with me on that
You have a professorial
vibe. I was going to say
Mien?
that. Yeah. I think it's the hair, a lot of it. Matt's got a nice flow, for anyone wondering.
It's got a good flow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's got a flow I would kill for.
And the
Look at this.
glasses.
The sleeves are rolled up. I
Yeah.
can see
I know.
that.
I'm all ready to be one of those like hip young teachers.
All right, well, let's see if you're right.
If Matt was not going to become a physician or another healthcare worker, I would say that he would be best suited to be an engineering professor,
Ding, ding,
which
ding,
he has contemplated in the past. He loves teaching and he loves engineering, so it would be perfect for him.
Hit it right
There
on
you
the
go.
head there.
You majored in engineering?
Yeah, biomedical
that's cool.
engineering.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Well done. Nathan.
I don't know if Erica would say a psychologist is a healthcare worker or not. That would like be her first choice. If we're going total anything, I would say a movie critic or movie reviewer.
Ooh, yeah, you do
All
like
right.
the film. Yeah.
Movie critic. Let's see if you're right.
Aside from being in the healthcare profession, I honestly think Nathan could probably charm his way into any other type of profession and be successful at it.
Boo, that's a non-answer.
That's sweet.
If he wasn't well versed or well educated in the area, I think he could BS his way through just about anything and make it look like he was highly knowledgeable in it.
True.
That's just the kind of guy he is.
That's sweet.
So she didn't answer, and then she called me a bullshitter.
I think that's kind. I think you're already a movie critic, to be honest. We watch a lot of movies, and you have good.
Well, I don't post them anywhere.
That's true.
There we go.
So that brings us to question 5.
Mm-hmm.
If your friend were doing a DIY project, would they be more likely to finish it successfully, or would they end up in the emergency room? Okay, so these aren't quite, it's not quite an either or case.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. Ananya, what do you think the answer that Raga will give for you is?
I think he's going to say that I can finish it. We've done quite a few DIYs successfully without going to the emergency room.
Okay, all right.
And I'm sure he'll say something flattering also.
Yeah, I mean, his track record is pretty good at this point.
I need to be this nice to him, I think.
Yeah, you have a lot to do.
A lot to live up to.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay,
I know.
here we go.
I'd say without a doubt, definitely the emergency room.
What?
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna pause this one for a reaction.
I was so confident. What?
Oh, let's continue.
Basically a DIY project that she didn't even try to do herself. And that already has the potential to send anyone to the ER. So imagine if she actually tried to do a DIY project.
What?
So I'd say she does DIY projects
I
that I'm sure
do.
she can tell you about,
Yeah,
like trying to get
and
the
I
best
will.
out of coupon codes at Abercrombie, trying to fix the front bumper of her car after she just put it in neutral after excitedly seeing her sister in front of her in the drive-through line at Scooter's Coffee, and other things like that.
This
And
is too
to be honest,
specific.
they already somehow always end up with her narrowly missing a trip to the emergency room.
That actually is true. But I was thinking like painting a canvas or like knitting something.
I love that the definition of DIY
It's
project
coupon
includes coupon code.
I did like really coupon my way through coffee. Yeah. I also did try to fix a bumper. Okay. Maybe
Okay, so
he's right.
he does know you.
That's
It
No,
twice.
he's right. He's
Yeah.
right.
That's
he's
twice
right.
now he's mentioned cars
Yeah.
with you,
I
and
know.
I mean, you know,
I know.
DIY yourself
I may
out
not
of
ever be a passenger in your
speeding
car. I just,
I'm never driving when we're together. He's the only one that and now I know why, honestly. He's scared of me. I just realized.
all right. Let's see what she'll say about. Let's see what my wife will say about me. But I will say that I'll finish successfully, but I might end up in the emergency room at the same time.
Okay, good.
All right.
Well, he would finish it successfully. However, perhaps the standards would not be to professional standards.
No. Yep. Absolutely.
That's
But
cut the
he
mic.
is capable and more capable than he would let on. I think he's a little modest about how capable he is.
Wow.
Oh, that was a good recovery.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
I do. The problem that I have with DIY projects is I get very angry.
Okay. Yeah.
Very angry indeed. And I would rather, I'm getting to the point where I'd rather pay people to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Emma, your turn.
I think finish it.
You'd
I
finish
don't
it?
have anything else to say about it.
You'd finish it? You wouldn't end up in the emergency room?
I don't think so. I'm very doctor adverse. I mean, I don't want to be the patient, so I would avoid going to the ER.
I feel like that's a common sentiment among doctors, that they don't necessarily want to go to see the doctor. Might want to think about that, you guys.
That's because they know what it entails, and you're going to be in the emergency department waiting room for 18 hours.
I know, seriously.
All right, well, let's hear from Augusta.
I think Emma would definitely finish a DIY project because she does it all the time. She makes these awesome like cross stitch like art things that are super cool, and she does a really good job. So she's very talented in the crafting department.
Oh.
I just want to say congratulations to Augusta for properly defining DIY project. Well done. Well done. No cars involved.
No cars.
Well done.
No coupon clipping.
No coupon clipping.
Yeah, I guess this question is hard because DIY could be everything from like art projects to fixing a car.
I can tell you that I was thinking sloppily about this question. I was thinking more in terms of like, fixing up your house or something like that. But
yeah, the first thing I went to in my brain was like, could I build a birdhouse without instructions?
Or like, that would send me to the emergency room. That for sure. For sure.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're on to you, Matt. What do you think Michelle is going to say?
I'm gonna say I can finish it. I feel like it'd be just like wrong to have a degree in engineering and be sent to the emergency room by like a DIY project.
Yeah. What about a coupon?
What about some like too much like hubris? Like
Ananya's clipping coupons and it manages to slit her throat.
Honestly.
All right.
That's what we call it, extreme.
Extreme couponing. This is the definition.
Let's see what Michelle says.
Matt doing a DIY project would end up completed successfully. And I don't think he'd go to the emergency room. He's pretty good with this stuff. However, he definitely strives for function over how nice something might look most of the time. At least that's how I see it. Just ask him about my Pampered Chef apple peeler that he fixed for me.
Ooh, I want to hear.
Ooh, it's a good one.
We're
I think
asking.
it was back in high school, but like those apple peelers that like turn it into like the swirly springs?
Yeah.
The handle fell off of it, and I was like, how am I supposed to fix this? I want, a perfectly spiraled apple. So we have this old futon that just got torn apart, and so now it's just like the wood, the wood pieces that we use like for fire
Scrap
starters
wood,
and stuff. Yeah. Took one of the smaller pieces of that and a screw, just stuck it on. Looks terrible, doesn't really work, but you can spin the swirler, so it works.
Engineer.
I know.
Yeah.
It's called thinking, but if you show it to anybody, they'll be like, that's the most jank thing I've ever seen, but it works.
Sweet.
There you go.
Sweet.
It's so funny that you knew the exact thing that she was referring to when she said that.
All righty then, you were correct. Let's see Well, Nathan, what do you think? What do you think? She
successfully built a desk and replaced my phone screen, but Erica gets hung up. One time when I was in 9th grade, I swung golf clubs in our garage and I broke lights, and she just from that moment on has always said I don't have common sense. So I think she's gonna say that I would go to the emergency room.
It's I feel like you've progressed beyond 9th grade,
but she cannot let it go.
Yeah.
No, and that's a parent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's see if you're correct.
Depends on if it involved power tools.
Okay, good.
Power tools, I'd say the ER.
Yeah,
definitely the ER. Something simple, if there was clear instructions, I think he'd be fine. But I think a lot of power tools, definitely the ER.
I literally built her a desk.
yeah.
Sweet. All right, so now we're on the last question, which is doesn't really apply to me, but maybe Christine has something to say about it. Anyway, how much does your friend complain about medical school stuff? Infrequently, too much, or just enough for you to get the idea without being annoying? And what do they complain about? Ananya.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Raga's going to say?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say that this is medical school stuff, so Christine could answer that question.
That's true.
Anyway, I think he's going to be nice and say that I don't complain too much. So I guess infrequently. And what do I complain about? I think he's going to say that I complain about, the system, and I'm, trying to fight the man, and I think that we need to make change systematically. So that's what I think.
All right. Yeah. Let's see what he said.
So I'd actually say, and maybe she'll disagree, I'd say Ananya actually doesn't complain at all about medical school. The only things she's commented on are actually, I think, a correct interpretation of how medical school is a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. With the nonstop evaluation, oftentimes the humanistic aspects of medicine get lost, and medical school, as I'm sure we all know, can turn into a nonstop hamster wheel that makes you kind of forget why you even went into it. I've seen with my own colleagues that every medical school tries so hard to stratify their students, and in doing so, we kind of lose the things the patients actually care about, which is how you interact with them and how we take care of them. So honestly, Ananya loves medical school and loves everything about the University of Iowa, especially. So maybe she doesn't complain about medical school enough. So, but I do think she does depict the goods and bads inherent in medical school in a really accurate way.
When did he submit this? Because yesterday I was tortured if you heard.
I feel like it was practically Tuesday, that he sent.
Okay, good. Because if you would have submitted it later, it might have been a different answer.
This is your permission. You can complain more.
Yeah, I know. I need to complain more.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
All right. I have no idea. I think I never really complain.
That's lovely.
About medical school. What do I have to complain about?
I know, I
got a good job. I got a good job.
I give you a bunch of.
I got a good job. I get to hang out with you guys. Yeah. I don't have to study. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. Let's see if I'm right.
If you're right.
Well, working at medical school, he complains just enough. That's not a lot because he's pretty happy there, but everybody. We all in our lives have annoyances, and we all have annoyances at work, and so he complains about them, but it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Good, you're right. Yeah.
What do you think Augusta will say, Emma?
I'm not sure because I feel like I don't see her on a regular basis when I'm in medical school. It's just on time off. So maybe just enough because I'm relaxing at that point.
Yeah. That's the big benefit about having friends outside of medical school is being friends with somebody who is in medical school when you're not in medical schools. You probably don't have to listen to them complain too much about it because they're like, I'm so happy to be not at medical school right now.
Yeah. And it's hard to complain to non-medical students because they're like, well, you signed up for this.
I know.
You did this to yourself.
We have the loans.
Yeah. We have no sympathy for you, moron. Yeah. All right. Well.
And then what do I complain about? I don't know. Maybe just being too busy, but that's my own fault for signing up for too many things. Yeah. Or the weather. I'm not a fan of Iowa's weather.
All right. Well, let's see what Augusta says.
I think Emma complains about medical school just the right amount because it does seem like an insanely hard thing to go through, and she has very good reason for complaining. I'd say she probably complains most about the lack of sleep. And maybe she also complains about how little her friends are able to remember about medical school. So that would be another thing.
I think like she means that I complain about her not remembering things about medical school.
Like how you remember, because she said something about how you remember every little detail. So maybe she's feeling like she doesn't.
Oh yeah, so you're like complaining about something. You're like, don't you remember when I told you about this last time?
Yeah.
She's like, no, frankly, I wasn't listening.
I'm doing this rotation. Why didn't you remember?
Yeah, people with good memories are so unfair to people with bad memories.
I agree.
It's
look at
crazy.
Raka. He's got a steel
I know.
trap.
He's bringing up things from years ago.
Well, he's apparently made a study of you.
I know.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm going to say that she will say just enough, but I wouldn't blame her if she said too much. I'm still in like the preclinical ones, so the thing that I've been really like, I guess, angry about recently or complaining about was just those like questions on the exams that feel like they're unimportant for like medicine, or the things that like they test you that you're going to forget immediately, or like the ones that you could just Google. So what's the point of memorizing those kind of things?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see if you are correct.
Matt complains about medical school stuff on a pretty regular basis, but I don't think it's that annoying. I get it. It's tough. He mostly complains about all the lectures that he has to watch. And sometimes he gets frustrated about having to learn about things that he doesn't necessarily think he should need to know about at this point. But then again, his dad has been out of medical school for 30 years and is still complaining about medical school stuff. So, what can you do?
Your dad's a physician?
Yeah, he's a radiologist.
Is he here?
No, he's back in Dubuque, but he went to Iowa for undergrad, went to Iowa for med school.
Nice.
And every once in a while, if you get him on a tangent, he will still bring up a single cardiologist that just made him like, that he went to a rotation through that he just still hates, even though it's, 30 years
so
later.
funny.
All right. Nathan, what do you think Eric is going to say?
I complain literally all the time. She is an emotional, she's not a sponge, but she just lets me rage against the machine. And what I complain about the most, I would say like the perceived lack of free time, or like my perception that I don't have enough time to do what I truly want to do while in medical school.
Okay. All right. Let's see if you're right.
I would say he probably complains about medical school just about the same amount that any other medical school student does. Lots of, wow, what did I get myself into? But yet, on the other hand, realizing that he's chosen just the right profession for him with his compassion, his generous heart for other people. I don't really think that there could be another profession or field that would be as well matched for the type of person that Nathan is.
Nathan's crying.
She just missed the question.
That was really cute. No, she said just enough. Right,
Well, but not what I complain about. But
she said so many nice things.
I really enjoyed hearing everybody's responses. I just, like even Christine's.
Rule follower, period.
Rule follower, period. I thought it was a lot of fun.
This is great. Thanks, Dave, for organizing
It was
that.
fun.
You're welcome. Happy to do it.